My friends, it's time to talk about Paper Girls. So Paper Girls it's just wonderful. Paper Girls is by Brian K. Vaughn and illustrated with by Cliff Chiang. And basically it's mixing up time travel, 80s, interdimensional stuff, aliens, weird creatures, all kinds of crazy things going on. And it basically centers around this group of 4 friends in the 80s who are young teenage girls, and they deliver newspapers. And then basically a whole bunch of things start to unfold. There's 6 volumes of this thing out. I've got 4 of them sat right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's a 6th one coming out in October 2019. So if you're watching this after that, you can enjoy 6. But this is just beautifully illustrated. And it's just this crazy mix of like, you look at the cover and you're like, oh, is this like a Stranger Things thing? And that's just totally disingenuous. Like the only comparison is really the 80s, and they're young and they have bikes. That's like, just forget Stranger Things after that. Except, yeah, there's monsters and maybe there's another dimension, but it really is its own story, and it's not really, in any way related to that equally great work of fiction. But I don't know why I needed to qualify work of fiction then. It's clearly, not sure why I did that. But yeah, it's just really great because, I'm not going to spoil anything, but, they basically are encountering different kind of sects of people from different parts of the future. And, they have to kind of travel between time and space as well, it's just wonderful. And the characterizations are great. And them meeting, some of their older selves and things like that. Just the way they kind of weave this story together is super smart. And another great thing that I love about it is that when they introduce some of these factions, they're speaking languages that the girls don't understand. So they kind of use all of this like interesting kind of hieroglyph style, or kind of almost Asian inspired lettering. And yeah, like it's just like this idea of things that come from the future. Like, for example, one of the future selves introduces them to an iPod or something like that. Or there's a future like Apple device, and it's set in advance of the future of now. So they kind of have this kind of imagining of like a really simple Apple device that kind of just like does holograms and things like that. So yeah, it's a super cool book. It has that very kind of like pulpy kind of 80s. So there are things that are in common with Stranger Things in that way. But just like this bizarre mix of kind of time travel plus, future societies plus kind of, there's aspects of things that look like they're from a Turok book, as in Turok Dinosaur Hunter, not to be confused with the other Turoks that there are. But yeah, it's just beautifully illustrated. The coloring is amazing. Credit to Matt Wilson, Jared K. Fletcher. So this team has just created this just beautiful style of artwork, and as you can tell that there's a little hint of what's going on in book 3 there. But yeah, I thoroughly recommend this book. Brian K. Vaughan you might know from Why the Last Man, another great book, check that out. Or Saga, something that he's gained a ton of popularity for lately. I think the Paper Girls, for my reading dollar is more my vibe. It's more entertaining. It's still Brian K. Vaughan's kind of very self-contained, character-centric kind of fantasy drama, but I enjoyed it more. I kind of dropped off a little bit on Saga, but I still love it. But I think Paper Girls is definitely like, one of his best things that he's ever done. And I highly recommend that you check it out. It's on Image Comics, and Image to me absolutely just killing it with all of the weird things that they're commissioning. I'll do another video on Sex Criminals, which is a fantastic book. But yeah, for now, Paper Girls. Go and check it out. And that's it. Go read something.